What's up, beautiful people? Padres get absolutely obliterated and lose the series 3-0. Yep, they get swept. The Phillies bring out the brooms, stay red hot, and absolutely destroy us. Going to be recapping the series a little bit. Not too many bright spots. A really pathetic series against the Phillies. Some long ball losses, some anemic offense. Some bullpen problems, a little bit of some blowouts. Musgrove and King look like dog shit. And gonna try and look at some bright spots from this series, but I'm telling you guys, this one was a doozy. There were some really bad plays this series. I'm hoping we can try and forget and erase this awful series against the Phillies, and then we'll look into the next matchup starting today against the Reds. Let's do this. I know I've said it for 20 plus years, but I got a feeling this is the year. God, Tatis is such a sexy guy. Keep the faith, baby.
1 year soon, the baseball gods will smile on the San Diego Padres, and we will have a parade.
Stay vibrant, Friar Faithful.
And now your handsome host, Beto Diaz on Friar Field Talk.
So jumping right back into it, a really horrible series from our Padres. We don't win a single game. We get swept by the Phillies. Looking into this right after the Rockies series, after splitting against the Rockies, a really miserable team. Especially losing that last game, how we did, up 9-4, losing 10-9, the last game of the series against the Rockies. Had a sour mouth taste to it, punched in the gut type of feeling after that game. And then you looked at the schedule and you saw that the Phillies were coming to town, and they were just red hot, just absolutely red hot. And it seemed like 1 through 6, their lineup was, it doesn't matter who it was, they were going to be getting a hit. Alec Bohm is hitting somewhere around 375 still after his series against us. Absolutely sunned us. There's no way around it this time, boys. We got our ass fucking kicked. Our first really big ass kick of the year. We've had some bad series, and obviously we've lost some series, but this series was definitely the worst one of the year. Looking into some of the bright spots, Morahone did end up pitching pretty well. In one of the games, he pitched 2 innings, looked pretty solid with 5 Ks, especially against the red-hot Philly offense. But I'm trying to think on the top of my head some bright spots from the series. Probably Game 3 is our biggest bet. We'll recap that a little bit. I'm going to jump in first here. Again, the first game of the series. This is the game where Musgrove pitched an absolute gem, let me tell you. From the get-go, he was fucking losing. Padres lose this game 9-3. From the beginning, you could tell, again, with Musgrove, I'm at the point now where I'm starting to think that there's got to be something wrong with him. Whether if it's he needs a phantom IL stint where, for those of you who don't know what that means, it's like when you get put on the IL and you say you have some sort of issue, which you might have a little bit of it, but not usually, it's not big enough for you to normally take the IL. But when a pitcher is struggling, you'll get put on the phantom IL list, and you'll kind of take a step back, take a couple starts in AAA, get some rest, try and get on a better in the zone a little bit more. And with Musgrove, I don't know what's going on with him. Even in the games where he would keep us competitive, prior to this one, obviously, he did not keep us competitive in this game. He was at least keeping us in the game, going 6, going 7. And even in those games, you could see his control is a problem. Interesting stat that I found here for Musgrove. He has the best slider in baseball. However, he's only using it at 8.8% of the times, which is kind of funny if you think about it, when his stats show that he is using it effectively when he does use the slider, even though he did leave a couple of sliders in this game up in the zone. One, of course, to Schwarber to start the game. But a little interesting why he's at a career low there. Don't really know what the reasoning is behind that, when usually that's his best put-away pitch. So he's still using the slider effectively, but all of his other pitches are dog shit. So something to look at there. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe this is just what he is now. I'm hoping that that's not the case. Obviously, the mood of this video is not going to be too great, y'all. We got fucking swept, And usually I try and find the good stuff of what happened in the series. So I'm going to try and stay optimistic and try and find a point where maybe there's a reasoning why Musgrove is pitching like shit. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe something's going on in his personal life. I don't fucking know. But this is not the Musgrove we know. And I'm not going to subscribe to the idea that he's shit yet. I don't want to subscribe to the idea that he's washed just because of who he is, what he's done for our team, and the importance he is to this team. I'm not going to deliberately in April already write him off as washed. I just can't do it. But this game, from the beginning, did not look good. Schwarber takes him deep quickly here. I'll play this really quickly. Sorry. I wanted to show just an absolute meatball of a pitch that this was. 2-1 count on Schwarber. Just literally no movement, 91 sinker down in the middle of the zone. And even for Schwarber, who seems like he's a guy that's either going to hit a home run or strike out, he's going to fucking take one deep there. So Phillies stayed red hot. Obviously, they scored quick, easy in the first. They score again in the third. We'll look at Musgrove's stat line here. Goes 3 2/3, 8 hits, 7 runs. 7 runs, 7 earned. 2 walks, 4 Ks. Pretty abysmal. Did not look good at any point of the game. I felt like we were just kind of stringing him along. He did have the scoreless second, but he never looked like himself. And honestly, he hasn't looked like himself all year. You can say that game against the Cardinals, he was finally starting to settle in a little bit and maybe looked okay. But also the Cardinals offense seems to be very anemic itself, so it's kind of hard to find some point there. But just really shitty for Musgrove. I'm hoping that he can find it. And, I mean, we're all hoping he can turn it around. But I'm not seeing many optimistic signs with his control issues and a lot of flat pitches in the middle of the zone. Honestly, not a really big bright spot offensively here in this game. Obviously, we were down 6-0 at one point. Cronenworth does get a double to bring in 1 to make it 6-1. Phillies retaliate really quickly. I guess maybe a slight bright spot. Graham Pauley, who had just earlier in the beginning of this game missed a 3-run home run off of Nola. Nola seems to be like kind of cruising. Gets a good part of the ball on the outside play. Changeup that catches too much of the plate. Sends it to deep center. This was cool for Pauley. Obviously, the kid has been struggling as well. But who the fuck else? Everyone has been struggling offensively. So I want to see him keep getting some more starts, even if he's going to suck balls. It's just going to join the list, right? But, yeah, a really shitty game here. Padres end up going, check my notes, 1 for 5 for runners in scoring position in this game. Had a few opportunities in the third and the fourth, but couldn't get anything done. We're going to move on to game 2 now. Hopefully Musgrove gets his shit together, man. I really hope he does. I really don't want to hope he's washed because that's going to be a long fucking season for us. But going to game 2, even worse than game 1, if you really want to think about it. You're like, how's that possible? We scored 3 runs in the first game. We scored 1 here. Well, I'll tell you why. You know what? We always have problems with runners in scoring position. Well, we didn't have a problem here. You want to know why we didn't have no problems with runners in scoring position in this game? Because we didn't have any. So I guess, no problem. We're not going to have no problems with runners in scoring position if you don't fucking have any, right? Pretty fucking depressing. This game really sucked because it was Cease's first bad game of the year. Right off the get-go, we're trailing 2-0 from fucking Alec Baum. This guy is on actual, literal fucking hot white fire right now. He's the best hitter in baseball. Does take a bad pitch in the zone, but punishes him for it. Padres are down 2-0 to start the game. And this really is a fucking gut punch because Cease had been our guy that was like the rock, the stopper, who had been pitching really, really well, and not just for the Padres, but like in all of baseball. Had some really good stats going for him. So this from the beginning, where it's like, God damn, man. So Phillies honestly did everything right in this series. Coming into this series, the last 6 games, they had like a collective ERA from their starting pitchers under 1. It was 0.76, which is fucking insane. And obviously it continued. Ranger Suarez, I don't know where the fuck he's found his dynamics and stuff going on, but the guy absolutely obliterated us. All pitching except for game 3 from the Phillies. They looked incredible. Obviously with our offense already anemic as it is, they look like fucking Satchel Paige and Roger Clemens out there. But just another really shitty game offensively. A big moment in this game, though, if we did want to like find a turning point in the game, was the 5th inning. Cease does manage to get 2 outs, but he quickly falls behind to Harper 3-0. and he ends up walking Harper. That walks in a run. And then guess who right after him? Fucking Alec Dickhead Bohm gets a single, make the game 5-0. Pretty much put it out of reach. Slight bright spot again. Comes from Eggy in the bottom of the 8th. Gets a hold of one, sends it to deep left. Gets a really good piece of it. Obviously a lot too late. Cool to see Eggy get another home run there. He seems to be having some success with the extra base hits. But yeah, really shitty game again. Cisco 6, allows 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks. The 3 walks obviously were a problem with hitters that are white hot, and they're not missing any pitches. But another cool bright spot here, though, Morejon goes 3 innings, allows 2 hits, and strikes out 5. I really like the way he's been pitching lately. Obviously, his numbers, his ERA is 0.93, shows it. Could be a real asset for that 5th spot, which I'm sure someone else. I'm not hoping for a Phantom IL spot for Musgrove, but I'm hoping to see some sort of action, fire under his ass, because he's looked like dog shit, obviously, from the game 1 that we saw. So yeah, Padres was this game 5-1. An abysmal day from the bats. Ranger Suarez was fucking carving us up like no tomorrow, like it was Thanksgiving dinner. And the game that we actually had a chance in, game 3, we also drop 8-6. These fucking Phillies, man. It felt like anytime we had any sort of momentum, we get our first lead of the series in the 3rd, thanks to Jake Cronenworth. I'll show it here. El Nino actually gets his only hit. He goes 1 for 12 in the series. Really abysmal numbers from El Nino. Had him written down here. In his last 7 games, El Nino is batting 185. Obviously, one of our hottest and best hitters. If you're hitting 185, your team is going to fucking struggle. Merrill as well has really struggled of late. In his last 7 games, he's batting 200 with a .422 OPS. Recipe for disaster. Sorry, I had something in my eye really quick. From the DH spot, last 7 games. These are all last 7 games. 143 batting average from the DH spot. Obviously, fucking killer right there. And in the last 4 games, our rotation starting pitchers have had a respected 11.21 ERA. It's hard to find some success here, boys. I know this video has definitely a more of a sad and depressing undertone, but I mean, I'm just saying how it is. We look like fucking shit, and I want to find the good, and I want to find the good stuff that we've been doing, but this series didn't fucking have it. We look like fucking shit. The Phillies fisted us. They fucked us. They did what the last 15 games we played the fucking Phillies, ever since those dickhead fucking asshole white dudes thought they could rap and be so cool about it, we're 12-3 against the fucking Phillies. They own us. They're our dads. Fuck Philadelphia. Fuck their fans. But it's true. They fucking own us. We can't beat them. We got our shit rocked in our own stadium, and it was fucking pathetic. And I'm pissed the fuck off about it because we looked like shit. It was anemic the whole game. The whole series looked like shit. Sorry, a little bit of rant. I was almost numb during the games because I could just see all this happening, but it is really depressing just seeing more of the same that we normally have seen in the past few years. Going back into the game, though, Nino does get an RBI double here, puts us within 1. Tyjon Walker was just coming off the IL here, so you thought we might be able to jump on a little bit. He's not been that great of a pitcher in the past. Nino one opposite, and Profar ends up scoring here to cut the lead to 1 for the Phillies. And then we actually have a lead here for the first time in the fucking series. It's around fucking 3 p.m. on Sunday. First time we have a lead the whole series. Oop, I want to mute this because I don't want to get copy struck. Cronenworth takes a hanging fucking slider to the Crone zone, and we have a lead. Look at all those fucking people, man. 9th fucking sellout at Petco this year. 9th sellout. We have fucking 17. Let me make sure. I don't want to be stupid. 17 fucking losses. What kind of 17-loss team has 9 sellouts? My God, man. They're playing us for fools. I might be at the game tomorrow. I might be just one of y'all. I know how it is. This is fucking torture. We watch this shit. We know what to expect. We know what's going to happen. We love these guys because this is our team. We bleed the passion. We try and stay faithful. It's in our fucking name to be Friar Faithful. And they're fucking us. So many fucking people at this game, and you're like you would dream in the past. Remember these horrible teams we used to have, and dream that we would have a full stadium cheering on our boys. And now we have that, and they're still fucking dog shit. So, yeah, we end up taking a lead, and literally the next fucking inning, Bryson Stott, who was a collective 0 for his last 20 fucking 2, ends up hitting an absolute moonshot to right. off of Meatballs King. Some notes on King as well. Now leads the majors in home runs allowed. 10 home runs allowed by King. And also leads the majors in walks. Although that one, I might give him a little bit of a asterisk too. He had that one game where he struck out. I mean, he walked 7. So that's why the walks are high there. But my God, Musgrove allows 9 home runs. Second most by all starting pitchers in baseball. King allows 10. The most in all baseball. Not a keen recipe for success there. So yeah, Kings allows another home run. He allows another one to Real Muto. At this point of the game, you're 6-3, and they make it up to 7-3. You think the game is over. Another small bright spot that we actually do show some fight in this game, unlike we fucking did in the game 1 and 2 and just rolled over and died. Campusano comes up and hits a pitch hit 3-run home run, and you're like, fuck yes, I think we might be able to salvage one. We might be able to avoid the sweep. We're down 1 here, and it goes to shit. Right after this, too, Profar gets a double, and El Nino and Cronenworth fail to bring him in to potentially tie the game. After that, the Phillies add 1 run, and we pretty much shit the bed and do nothing from there after that. Looking at the line from King, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs. Again, just abysmal. 3 walks, 6 Ks, ups the ERA to 5. If it wasn't for that masterclass in Milwaukee that he had, this fucking dude would have the worst ERA and probably worst numbers amongst qualified pitchers. He has looked like absolute dog shit. I'm starting to think that the Yankees absolutely fucking fleeced us with this trade for Soto. You know, when we traded Soto, you knew it wasn't going to be for too much because he had the 1 year left. But I expected a little bit better, man. I did. I expected a little better. There was another bright spot. El Nino did make a really, really, really good throw to nab a runner. Let me see if I can find that really quickly for you. Trey Turner tried to stretch a single into a double. And El Nino lets him fucking have it. There we go. Make sure I mute this. Turner had a quiet series, honestly, but he's still, one of their best hitters, and he had a quiet series, and they still swept us. Nino reads the ball well, and an absolute fucking dot to second gets Turner. Really nasty from the Platinum Glove. Him and Kim received their gloves today, their awards. So it was cool to see that. Really nice to see them getting being rewarded for how well they did last year. An absolute dot from Nino. At this point, I can't believe people are still trying to run on him. It's asinine to me. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. It's a wake-up call for them, I'm sure, trying to test them. But, yeah, boys. Unfortunate stuff. We looked really bad. I'm hoping that we can turn it around against the Reds. It just takes one game, you know? It just takes one game to pull it around. Sweeps happen. Obviously, it's early in the season, and how bad we looked, it does feel bad. But, and I know it's hard, I'm trying to remain optimistic. I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying to keep the faith. I know it's really, really hard, but maybe we can pull it off and get some squeeze the series win against the Reds. Reds come in also playing very well. We don't catch a fucking break. Start time tomorrow, 6:40. We have Waldron on the bump for us going against Nick Lodolo, a high K rate pitcher, who you all know how we do against pitchers that strike out high. We're usually one to follow. Hopefully it's not the case tomorrow. Hopefully we can jump on them early. Game 2, we'll see old friend Nick Martinez against possibly Darvish. He's scheduled to be able to come off the IL. If not Darvish, it'll probably be Brito. And Game 3, we'll have Graham Ashcraft. He'll be a fucking god for the Reds going against Musgrove. If he has another consecutive bad outing like he did, as he's had, I expect some moves to happen with Musgrove quickly. But that's going to do it for today, boys. I know the undertone of this video, and I know the sound of it. It's not good. I tried to find the good in this series. I really, really did, and there wasn't too much of it. But if we want to look at it on a better scale, this shit happens. You're going to get swept. Everyone gets swept. Every year it happens. So I'm happy that it happened earlier in the season. I'm not going to try and subscribe to the idea that it's a sign of bad things to come. It's very easy to fall into that. I'm trying to remain optimistic with what's going on with our team and hope we're just in a bad stretch. Hopefully we can pull out of it. Let's fucking do it against the Reds. I'm sick of fucking losing, man. I just want to be winning. It's so much better. I love winning. It's better than losing. So hopefully we can figure it out against the Reds. I will see you all again on Thursday. Maybe before then, if we end up playing a really good game, might want to jump on here and talk about it, have some excitement, because we haven't had any fucking excitement the way we've been playing. I'd be killing to come back and talk to you guys about some really good Padres baseball. Let's keep the faith. Let's stay vibrant. I know it's hard. We've done it before for years and years and years. We've been pathetic. We can pull out of this, okay? Keep the faith. Stay faithful. I'm with y'all. Have a good rest of the week. Let's go Padres, baby.